if you got this human marbleization going on in your muscle. So it should be sobering to wake you up. So
I know a guy just like that. He looks at people and almost with disgust because they have weight, and it's so unchristian, right?
AM 10:30.
I'm thinking about, you don't know what's going on internally as well. He's not the healthiest person
Talking about
in
the different
world.
types of fat in the body.
What does one do, a doctor, to get rid of that deadly fat?
Yeah. So I'll give you some basic strategies. The first thing you should do is cut out processed foods. Processed foods, and we've talked about these before, are just foods that have been taken right out of the garden, and then they change the form. It's almost like we say to God, God, you got this piece of meat or this particular thing, vegetable, pretty good, but let's improve on it. And it's almost like the money changers out of the gospel. And you don't mind if I make some money on that, do you, Lord? And so they change that form, and they make it highly profitable for them and highly disease-causing for people who eat it. So eating meat and vegetables in whole form is the way to avoid processed foods. So you cut out anything that's processed. And especially bad ones are processed carbs, the simple sugars, breads and rice and muffins and tortillas and cereals and things like that, ice cream. Get rid of those processed carbs. And seed oils, these inflammatory industrialized oils, are turning out to be highly processed, and I don't want to derail you on that. I don't want to get too off tangent, but seed oil, I've been hearing a lot of people say, don't use seed oil. What's wrong with seed oil? Sesame seed oil or some sort of other oil? Well, if you nothing wrong with the oil itself, but if it's processed from seeds, then they change it so many the forms, and they're using chemicals and then detoxifying additives, and then agents to remove the scent and the smell and the taste. And so all these additives are changing these forms. Just stick with butter, stick with lard, stick with tallow, stick with just animal fat. But you know what? When it comes to that animal, you don't want to just eat any animal, any fat off that animal. You want to eat the healthiest animal possible. Our ancestors hunted. True. Yeah. They hunted the healthiest animal in the herd. And so, a lot of supermarket meat or animals maybe not necessarily the healthiest. So get to know your butcher, buy directly from a rancher, with a super, healthy herd, and get a super healthy animal. The old school, the old ways we used to do it. And that would go along. But any meat is better than processed foods. So, I tell people, cut out those processed foods is the first thing. And then stress, alcohol, poor sleep, all of those are big players when it comes to causing visceral fat, muscle fat. Wow. And the last two are fat, deep underneath your skin called subcutaneous fat. Yeah. And your love handles reach back.
Do you want to live?
Just above your fanny, a iliac crest, we say in medical school, are these love handles hang off you. And if you got them, it's likely deep subcutaneous fat, and it's a marker for visceral fat. You don't want that. And the last one is fat around your heart, ectopic fat that surrounds your heart and your chest. And nobody pays attention to these fats, but you can Google them. You can find MRIs on them online, see where it's at. You can follow me. I do YouTube videos and show you beautiful big MRI images on YouTube so people can understand.
Nick's been watching your YouTube videos. Let's talk about the handles for a minute, though, if we can. That's the hardest fat, I think, for people to lose, isn't it? I mean, if you go to the gym and you're working out, that's like the last to go. Why is that? And do you have strategies? Is it diet? Is it exercise? And what's the best way to attack fat in the body? And what happens? Does it convert into energy? I mean, how do we get rid of it?
Yeah, it does. That's the good news. It does convert to energy when your body needs it. So one good thing us Catholics are encouraged to do that we have an advantage of those of us that are really a little more old church is fasting. Yeah. Fasting is a great way to lose your love handles. So if you do you do some extended fasting, and it might sound scary, but you kind of work your way into it just a little bit at a time. Listen, you got a whole lifetime to be working on yourself to get yourself healthy. Don't take too long. Don't take your whole life to get yourself healthy. But this is one strategy that you'll need to ease into, fasting.
So how long do you fast? You know, Nick was telling me you do like 2 and 3 day fasts. I mean, some people can't do more than 12, but you know, 24, 30. When do you hit autophagy? That state when the body really starts consuming those sickly cells and giving you all the benefits of it.
There you go.
It's consuming those broken proteins, etc. When do you hit autophagy? And I hear some people in the medical community say you don't want to go too long because instead of eating fat, it's then going to start to take your muscle. So is there a line? And walk us through that. I'll tell you what, hold the thought. I'm up against the clock. When we come back, answer those questions. We will also open the phones. I have Dr. Sean O'Mara only for the next 30 minutes. If you want to join us, you've got a question, maybe you're trying to lose those love handles, maybe you're wondering what kind of meat is okay to eat, maybe you are concerned about that subcutaneous fat that you might have. We're looking at fat today, hidden fat in muscles around the heart, and the best way to conquer it. So 888-914-9149. We're back with your calls, questions, and more conversation right after this.
It's the Drew Mariani Show.
I just want to tell you both, good luck. We're all counting on you.
On Relevant Radio.
All right. So just a little recap of what's going on here. They're talking about the different types of fat in the body. Visceral fat, which is fat around the organs. And then you have that, I forgot what they call the name of it. But the second kind was the fat that's mixed in your muscle, just like the meat at the store. You know, that marbleized, pretty meat that we love to buy. Because when you cook it, you know, it caramelizes that fat a little bit on the outside, and on the inside it releases those juices and just make it so moist and juicy and sliceable. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah. So check it out, right? You have the same thing going on in your muscles. If you have muscles, most of y'all might just have fat. But anyway, yeah. This is what we're discussing because a lot of people need to know this information. And like I've been telling y'all, World Health Organization has set out a new regulation, whatever you want to call it, that men are allowed 1 alcoholic drink a day and women, no, I got that backwards. Men are allowed 2 alcoholic drinks a day and women 1. So that's 1 ounce of whiskey, 1 3-ounce glass of wine, or 1 12-ounce beer. For ladies. Ladies! That's right. Restricted. But if you want to be healthy. Now, if you don't care about your health, do what you want. Do what you like. Act how you like. Everybody do what you like. Act how you like. But you keep it up. And your health you ain't gonna like. Because you're gonna be sickly. Yeah. You're gonna be sickly. So, the choice is yours. Let's see if we have.
.com. That's Charity Mobile.
Almost done with the commercials.
Listener-supported Catholic Talk Radio. Relevant
Catholic Talk Radio. Hey, they not for nothing. They have some good topics up here. Now I don't know exactly what the station is. I think it's like 10:30 a.m.
It's what you folks are doing every day, and it's accessible. I think that's the great thing. Some people may have fallen away. Some people can't get to church, but they can always listen.
Touch a heart and change a soul by donating to Relevant Radio today.
College, our sponsor, has a new and free online class called Approaching Difficult Questions in Church History. Embark on a captivating journey through the annals of Catholic history and gain the tools to defend the faith at CatholicHistoryClass.com. That's CatholicHistoryClass.com.
So eliminate processed foods and carbohydrates, and you want to eat principally meat and animal products from optimally healthy animals. And this is a big deal. You know, our ancestors didn't just hunt any member, any bison part of a herd. They looked for the healthiest one. When you go to a supermarket and you're going to be buying meat or animal-based products, you want to try to find the healthiest animal that is in the package. And I would submit to you, one of the only ways to do that right now is to make sure you're buying meat from a grass-fed, grass-finished cow or bison.
The Drew Mariani Show on Relevant Radio.
Yeah, that's our guest today, Dr. Sean O'Mara, talking today with me about good fat versus bad fat. Good fats like monosaturated and polyunsaturated fats are essential to the body. They help reduce inflammation. They can lower your LDL. They can provide, the necessary fatty acids your body can't produce on its own. Bad fats, you got to watch out for those. Those trans fats, those excessive saturated fats that can just lead to a whole host of problems. And they're found, as Dr. O'Mara was pointing out a few moments ago, in these processed foods, in those seed oils, those hydrogenated oils,